Yes, yes, people, welcome back again to another live in the space of about 2 hours, 3 hours now. Today we'll be talking about the Sao Paulo Grand Prix that happened yesterday, the shock that happened at the end, obviously the drama that happened. There's always drama in F1, you know what I mean? And we'll be briefly talking about the NBA. Joining me once again, King, my guy. What are we saying?
Um, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling good. It was a bad weekend to be a Ferrari fan. It was a bad weekend to be a Chelsea fan. So, in terms of sports, not looking good. Um, yeah, I'm happy the Eagles won in NFL. So at least I had that little bit of happiness, and the Cowboys lost again. So that's always good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it was
Cowboys, man, our team.
yeah.
But
But yeah.
My Patriots are worse. I can't comment about shit.
Hey, you had a good run. You had a good one with Brady. So. But yeah, man, it was
Yep.
it was it was an interesting weekend to say the least when it came to sports. But yeah, we'll talk about that and more.
We have a good quarterback in our hands, so I'm not even gonna be mad at that. But yeah, anyways, people, is there anyone in the building, anyone watching? Please make sure you head over to YouTube, head over, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, show King some love, show us some love. Leave your comments in the live chat. You know what I mean, so we can have something to discuss about. But bro, I just want actually, you know what it is? I had a panel of Chelsea fans on earlier, and obviously you being a Chelsea fan, I just want to get your quick review of the game from both perspectives and Chelsea United. I want to get yourself as a Chelsea fan first. What are your thoughts? Quick thoughts on Chelsea and quick thoughts on United, bro. Your floor is yours.
Um, in terms of Chelsea, I just think we were poor all around for most part in the game. I just think we didn't do what was necessary to win the game. Or it
Mm.
just felt to me like we were off. I think defensively not very good. The midfield was the best part. I think Lavia, Casado were our
Mm.
best players, but the rest of it was just woeful. Gusto was poor. The attack was non-existent, and overall, it was a very stale game. So it was frustrating to be on the same time as the Formula One because you had the excitement of the Formula One on one side, and then just stale boring game that you were just struggling to pay attention to. And I just think both teams cancelled each other out. I just think both teams were poor. United should have won the game, in my
I
opinion.
agree. Mm. We should have won the game,
They
bro.
they need to get better attackers, and I think with Almiron coming in, the
Emery.
wing backs need to change up as well because Dallo and Mazarawi are good, but outside of that, you don't really have.
I thought Mazraoui was the best player on the pitch by
Yeah,
a mile, bro.
yeah. Him and Casado were competing for best
He was
player. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant on the pitch, man. And do you know what it is? I feel like we need. I think our attack costed us the game. That for me was a penalty. I'm not even gonna. No one should debate that. That for me is a penalty, right? Bruno scores. What do? You go and hold on for 20 minutes. And what else? What else happens? We go and concede a pretty decent goal. I can't
yeah,
lie.
yeah.
However,
Decent goal.
however, Garnacho, yeah, I'm going to say it time and time again that I've said on previous streams, and I will continue to say it on and on again. You, my friend, costed us that game. As
Oh
much as
yeah,
I think,
yeah,
I think you should be dropped next game. I'm all about giving young players a chance, but the guy just costed us the game, man. Like the way he played, could have sent Ahmad through, could have sent Xerxes, quite many times, man, many times. But I just wanna get a quick review on so you can finish your part and I'll ask you quick. Big up Jordan in
yeah.
the chat.
Um, yeah. I just think Man United were great defensively. I think going forward they were poor, but that's just
Midfield,
because yeah, just
yeah.
because the midfield kept losing the ball and then the attack just weren't on it. I don't think. I think
Mm.
Garnacho's poor, Rashford's poor. Hoyland just doesn't look like a striker with any confidence, and the attackers just look very lackluster. I mean, one of the biggest moments was Casemiro shouting at Garnacho after
Oh
the
yeah,
kind of mistakes after
that
a
was
counter.
warranted.
So
That was
yeah,
warranted, man. That was
yeah,
warranted. If you
and
trash back
it
losing the ball, yeah.
happened all game. Yeah, so I'm annoyed and frustrated because we lost midweek against Newcastle in the cup, and then drew against the team we should be beating. So I'm just more annoyed about how we played and the
This was
lack of effort in the game.
this was your chance to go above Arsenal by 2 extra points,
Yeah.
and knowing that you play them next week, if you beat them, you go above them by 5 points.
Mm.
So yeah. As a United standpoint, what do you think? I think I'm disappointed with the result. I'm sure you're disappointed with the result as well. But from United perspective, what do you think? Just a quick one.
I think they'll be disappointed, but I think it's understandable. I think their attack needs an overhaul.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the back seven in terms of the four defenders, Casemiro, Garte, and the goalkeeper, defensively
Yeah,
solid, but
yeah, I think
going
so.
forward, there's not really much cohesion. Like 1-2 pass loss, 1-2 pass loss. So I think for you, I think it's about having Almiron come in and putting in his kind of formation and system and actually teaching these players how to retain the ball. Because in order for you to win games, it's about possession. And I think this game was a ping pong game when,
Back and
as
forth.
the
Yeah,
home team, you're meant to kind of enforce your presence, your game onto the away team and kind of keep the ball. And for Man United, I think the future is somewhat bright defensively, but offensively it needs work. There's a lot of garbage that needs to be cleansed. I look at United squad and half of it needs to be Thanos snapped. That's what I look at their squad, and I think
yeah.
Almiron will be the man to bring back United. I think he's a great coach. And
I
yeah,
hope so.
I think it's more of excitement because you're defensively solid, and that's the first thing you need to be. So if you can carry on that, there's more than likely the next couple of weeks you're going to win some games.
Interesting. I hear your points, man. And honestly, you gave a good review. But I just wanted to ask him for a quick review, people, because he wasn't on the show earlier, and he's a Chelsea fan. So it's only right I asked for his opinion on the game. Just a quick recap of the game. But yeah, I thought this was one of the Chelsea's worst performances in a long time. I think you guys played better away at Anfield than you did at Old Trafford, in my opinion. But we'll save that for another day. We'll preview the Chelsea Arsenal game on the weekend as well, and I might get you on as well for that. But people, we're gonna swiftly move on to the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, and obviously, me and King are both Ferrari fans. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed in Ferrari because I can't really blame them for what happened this weekend. It was really, really hard to race. I can't really blame Ferrari, to be honest with you. I think the conditions were not in Ferrari's favor, and it's not their fault. Really isn't their fault. A lot of cars had issues this weekend. I think it was more of an unlucky weekend for Ferrari. I'm one of Ferrari's biggest. I criticize Ferrari quite often, but it's one of those races where you're like, I can accept it. It's wet conditions. It's not going to be able to control the car easily. A lot of drivers crashed out, man. And you know what it is? I think we just swiftly move on to next week. Really, I think just move on to next week. I think we'll be back next week. I think hopefully we'll be back next week. Hopefully we'll be back. If not, it is what it is. But Max Verstappen back on top, back winning races. You and I both mentioned that he hadn't won a race in Spain, but he's finally won this weekend. What are your thoughts, bro?
This was one of those races in the season that you're going to look back on and say, this what decided the title for Max.
Do you think he's won the title now?
I think so, because going into the weekend, you were thinking Max had no chance to win. Nothing was going to stop the McLarens. They were looking, especially after the sprints, they were looking rapid. They were looking like it was going to be an easy 1-2 for them. And then rain, rain and rain
Yeah.
and rain. And we know when it comes to Formula One, these cars are very delicate. As soon as
Mm.
a bit of rain comes involved, it's about who's the best driver. It's about who can get their car into the race. How many cars ended up getting wrecked? How many times did people make mistakes in the qualifying crashes? I mean, even
Mm-hmm.
Ferrari's Carlos Sainz, he crashed twice in quali and
Yeah,
in the race.
yeah, he did. He did. He
So
did.
those kind of mistakes are the difference makers in you having a good weekend when it comes to rain. So for
Yeah.
me, Max showed he was the master of the rain over the weekend, and to come from 17th,
Yeah, bro. 17th is first.
after the poor qualifying he had, or as well, with the
Impressive.
situations, him, with the late red flag in the qualifying, which was crazy to me. To come over those frustrations and end up winning that race, I think that's career defining, and that's the
Mm,
championship defining race for him in terms of um the individual
mm.
title. In terms of constructors,
Yeah.
it doesn't make that much of a difference. I think
No, no,
the
no.
the
I think
points
Ferrari.
was minuscule
I think
difference. So
Ferrari getting.
Ferrari's still in it, but
Yeah, yeah,
next
yeah.
week is going to be important,
Because
or in a couple weeks time.
Leclerc finished above Lando, so that's 3 extra points now. So Ferrari are now 36 points behind. I calculated it after the race, and you know what? It's not over. That constructors championship is not over. It's not. It's not
No,
over. And this weekend, I think it was more. I think it was unlucky. I think Charles did well to finish fifth or whatever. I think. I think unlucky for Sainz, he couldn't finish the race. Lando Norris though, I think he flopped like hell this weekend, bro. From what I've seen, yeah, I didn't watch the race, but I watched the highlights back. He flopped really hard this weekend. Like the way I just, as much as I think it's wet conditions and everything, just look at the way he was driving. Like the amount of times the guy went off track this time round was insane. Yes, he managed to keep himself in, but the amount of times he had to give his place back, like, still, I think it was a flop weekend for Lando Norris, if you ask me, because he got pole as well, didn't he? He got pole position for the qualifiers as well, didn't he?
I think
Yeah,
he
it
did.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was him. And the where he finished, I think for me that's a flop, man. I genuinely think it's a flop. But go on, bro. I'll leave you to it. This part.
Um, in terms of McLaren, yeah, I think they would be very disappointed with this race weekend overall.
Mm.
Because as I said, going into it, after the sprint, you'd think, okay, it's our time to shine. But then when you looked into the qualifying, Piastri made mistakes, so he didn't finish in the top three in terms of qualifying. So he was like eighth. Lando did well, but then during the race, they just Lando went back and back and back, and as you said,
Yeah.
a lot of drivers were making mistakes, and you know how crazy this weekend is. You
Mm.
had two Alpines in the top three, so this was one of those unpredictable weekends where it was down to the driver, and
Yeah.
I think Lando's gonna rue some of the mistakes he made during the race, especially the amount of times you saw him go off track. Um, and yeah, it was tricky conditions because it was also about understanding when to have the wet tires, intermediate tires. Those were tough calls. So I think in terms of strategy, they got it wrong as well. And
Mm.
I think Max got a bit lucky in terms of when the safety cars came out and things of that nature. So I think it was it was lucky for Max, but at the same time, it was a great drive to still maintain that position, even being in an inferior car to the McLarens and the Ferrari. So
I hear you completely. I completely hear you in this one,
yeah,
and I still think Ferrari are completely in this race, man. They're still in the race, man. They're still in the race for the constructors championship, because if Ferrari get 1 and 2 next weekend, I don't know where they're playing. Oh, they're back in America, aren't they? They're going to Vegas now, aren't they? They're going. This is one of
um,
the races of the. This is one of the biggest races of the whole year. Like
yeah,
market wise, like the location wise. This is where people are gonna be like, I'm gonna go bet in F1. It's like it'll be
yeah,
bets all over it'll be bets all over the gaff. Like everyone's gonna start, like, what I mean, going to casinos to
yeah,
start
big weekend.
betting for, what I mean, that it's gonna be like that. But I mean, look, where I think Ferrari's downfall came from was, I think, the preparation.
Yeah,
Because if they should have known that it was the wet conditions. Although I don't blame Ferrari for losing control, because a lot of drivers lose grip of wet races. Let's be honest with you, it's not going to be easy. But Ferrari should have known better when to prepare, because conditions were not good. They should have known when to prepare for the conditions, because this is one of the few races where you're like, okay, you earned 3 more points on McLaren this week, but also, um, you yourself made a mistake of not preparing yourself for conditions like this. Even though you got more points than McLaren, you still could have gotten a better position. You could have finished above George Russell. You could have finished above one of the Alpines. Oh, but by the way, big up Alpine, yeah. Although the celebrations were a bit over the top, even though they got double podium, uh, they didn't win the race. But big up to Alpine though, like getting second and third. Like, I think that they just moved to sixth in the constructors championship now.
That was a big one for them. But
Yeah,
it felt like winning a race to them because that's the
yeah,
only chance they're getting podiums. And those
yeah.
points hauls, that just shot them up the rankings. So it's
They're not massive, but the fact that they got a double podium is always nice for when you support a team. Like, for us, we watched Ferrari get double podium week in week out, like back 2 weeks running. Now they're back in the constructors championship. I'm hoping that we see it again this weekend. What are your thoughts on just the race as a whole? I know I asked you bits and bobs about questions, but bits and bobs about the race. But what are the entire race as a whole? Because obviously you watched that, right? You watched the race.
yeah, I did. I had my eye on it. In between the Chelsea United game.
Right.
Overall, I just think it was just difficult conditions, really. Obviously, a lot of cars got knocked out in qualifying, so even from the start, Alex Albon, William didn't even start the race. You already knocked one down before even the
Right.
race begins. Because the other problem that a lot of mechanics had is because the qualifying was moved to early in the morning. Any crashes that happened, it was a struggle for them to fix the cars. So I think a
Right.
lot of the cars were in kind of half broken states. Even Carlos had to start from back of the grid, I think, or from the either back of the grid or from the pits, if I remember correctly. But because of that, it just was a very dysfunctional race because you had a bunch of different cars that were competing for different things in different places, and then throughout the race, one crash would happen, then it would slow down by a safety car, another crash, virtual safety car, another crash, and then it was like a bogged down race of this time Orlando's up top, then Verstappen's up there, and then it was kind of weird because then you saw at one point Ocon was leading the race, which you're never going to see on a normal race weekend. So I just think it was just one of those weekends of luck of the draw. It was luck of the draw for most, and just getting your car to the end, because those who got to the end got the good points. And
I remember.
really,
I remember there was one of those races where I think it was like in the year that Lewis and Max got into that final day battle. I think it was there was one of the races. There was one of those races in that year where Hamilton crashed out, like Verstappen crashed out. I think even the top drivers crashed out. I remember it was like only the average drivers, right? And I think even I swear I think Ferrari or no, Checo Perez won that week actually. I remember Checo Perez actually won that race. I think was it in Mexico? I can't remember where it was. Where Lewis Hamilton, remember there was a red flag, and then like on the last few laps, I think he crashed out. He drove into the barriers.
oh yeah. That was timing.
It was that one race. I think it was. I don't know if it was in Mexico or not, but regardless, yeah. Whatever it was, the fact that the fact that races like that happen is kind of a blessing to F1, because there's drama. We all love a bit of drama, don't we? We love, especially in motorsport. There's always going to be like back and forth races, this and that, the other. You see a bit of Alpine. Like, what were the odds of Alpine even getting a podium? Like, can you try to check it? Someone if anyone watching, yeah, put in the comments what were the odds of Alpine even getting a podium this week? Like, real talk, double podium.
that would have been interesting.
One podium, double podium as well. Like it must have been like a Leicester fairy tale story or something like that. Something of that sort, because no one would have expected this to happen, bro. Real talk. People must have expected a double McLaren or at least Verstappen, because it wasn't crazy. It would have been crazy to bet against Verstappen, but the fact that, bro, Alpine getting double podium is mental. I can't.
Yeah, it would have been hundreds or thousands to one, really, if you think about it, because it's a car that you don't expect to be up there. It's a car that's been poor for most of the season, so I think the one thing I would say about Alpine is they have two brilliant drivers. So
Right.
in these type of conditions, this shows you the level of the driver in terms of the guys that get the car to the end. And I think if you look at Ocon and Gasly, they've both shown that they can be race winners, that they have the pace. They're just not in a good car at the moment. So I think if you give them both the right team, the right formation, I think they're guys that can easily race in a Red Bull alongside Verstappen and hold their own. But for various different reasons, they're in lesser teams. Obviously, Gasly was a part of the Red Bull group. Ocon, has had different issues with teammates, even with Gasly this season in Alpine. That's why he's moving on. So
Yeah.
it's a strange one, because I think it's good for Alpine, but but you also have to know that Alpine is one of the constructors has their own engine. So this should be a regular occurrence for them. I think, honestly, I think they've been really poor in the last couple of years, from Renault to Alpine, and
Yeah.
it's a shame with the two brilliant drivers that they have that this is the only double podium that you've seen them in, because I think they can compete with the Landos, the Maxes, the Charles, if they're given the right car. Them two are just that good, in my opinion. So it just showed. It just showed for one weekend only. You got to see the best of Ocon and Gasly in the wet, hard conditions, and you saw real drivers do their thing. So it was great. It was great racing. It was really interesting to see cars push themselves to the limit in the qualifying in those conditions. It was really interesting to see different moves being made throughout the session, and I think a lot of it, as I said, was a bit of luck, but it was also the skill of some of the greatest drivers that we have in the world, showing what they can do in very tricky conditions where 5 cars ended up not even finishing the race. So, and one of them being Carlos Sainz, a guy that you would look at as an elite driver as well. Obviously, unfortunately, the young man Colapinto, in somewhat of a home race, a load of Argentinians came down. He crashed out as well. So yeah, it was just an overall strange race. It was once in a blue moon kind of race where you're like,
Yeah.
he won, and that it happens once or twice in a season where you say he won, he came top 3, and
Yeah.
and that was the race for
Brazil
Brazil and rain. Who would have known? Who would have known Brazil with rain would have brought
You'd expect
such a strange result?
you would expect like a hot summer, like not summer, but hot weather, like, you know what I mean? Like it's mad because usually around this time, yeah, Australia, you know how Brazil are sort of in like the southern side of the hemisphere. Right?
Yeah.
Not the entire country, but Brazil are like, because Australia had the summer now, yeah, and then like obviously New Zealand as well. But it's mad how like rainy it was. Like I didn't expect it to be this bad.
Yeah.
Like I said in the preview, it depends on the conditions of the race, and here we are talking about wet tires again. Go on. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, it just put it this way. You had Yuki, you had Ocon, you had a lot of different drivers up there in the qualifying, and it just was one of those like days where you're like, what am I watching? You know what I mean? Like you're kind of like interested to see what would happen. And yeah, as I said, this was a defining moment race for the not for the constructors, but for the driving championship. And I think Max showed class. He showed his worth, and yeah, I
Is
think he definitely has proven that he is going to win the championship this year.
I think
I think
if he gets second next week, I think it's sealed because there's 2 races to go. I don't think Lando catches up. Honestly,
yeah, there's
I don't.
three. Yeah. Lando has to win all 3 races and have Max maybe at one point finish out the top 10 for it to
No, I
come
think if Lando wins every race, I think he wins the championship. But I think it depends on where Max Verstappen finishes
finishes as well.
within that. Yeah, because you
Yeah,
get
so
25 times 3 is like what
75.
75, something like that. Yeah, if you get 75 points and Max Verstappen gets like what 50, then
Yeah.
sorry, Max 50. How many you could get? 15,
The
15, 15.
difference now is 62, so he needs just a 13 points in the last 3 races just to be equal.
He can get like what 54 points. Yeah, Max could get 54 points if he finishes second, and that's like what a seven, and that's like what a 70 sorry 75 to 54. What would that be, like 21
Yeah,
point gap? So if you
yeah.
so yeah, how many points difference is it right now though? Like how many point difference is like Verstappen up on
He is at the moment he's 62 points ahead of him. So one good weekend for Max and it's over.
hold on 62
Yeah.
116 points compared to what Lando 25. That's crazy. That's actually mad.
Yeah.
That's like what 75 points. Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see Lando Norris winning it anymore.
But you need a couple Max DQs. That's what you need. You need him
Yeah,
to
literally,
finish out the
you just
points.
you need zeros, man.
You need
You
yeah,
need zero.
noughts. Ones or twos. Ones and twos. That's what you need from him. And to win each race, which is unlikely. So I think this is done, in my opinion. Constructors is probably one race away from being done as well, depending on what happens in Las Vegas. So by Las Vegas, we might know both winners, and it's funny. It's going to be opposite.
Vegas is gonna be one of the biggest races of the year.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be exciting. I remember last year's race was really exciting in terms of to look at, watch, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting. Um, yeah, Verstappen. If Verstappen gets second every time he wins, yeah, it's done. I think it's done for me. Unfortunately, Lando, I think you've been unlucky, but a lot
yeah,
of but a lot of times you've made decisions where it costed you, whereas you fell from what you fell from like being second or third, and then you fell to like fifth because of a what do you call incident with Max Verstappen. I think Verstappen defended his title quite well, even though
yeah,
even though he hadn't won a race for a long time, which is insane to even think about for Max Verstappen, because Max Verstappen is usually like a race winner. It's
yeah.
quite odd to see him not win a race for like months, bro. Like real talk, it's quite odd. But heading into Vegas, what are we saying about the weather? Do you think? Do you think it'll be like Do you think it'll be the
It should
same?
be alright because it would be a night race, wouldn't it? I think they normally do that in the night, so I don't think weather will be a big deal for that race. I don't think so.
Any final thoughts on the race? Any quick thoughts on the race before we move on?
Yeah,
You were saying something earlier.
I am happy for these kind of races. I ain't gonna lie to you, because as a fan of Ferrari and as a fan of like just the race itself, having a
Yeah,
couple mid carders like Alpine in the podium, um, it was good to see the top 10 be so unique. It's always good to see Liam Lawson, Yuki get points, so that was really good. And I think it adds a bit of extra spice for the last 3 rounds in terms of the mid pack because those points by Alpine put them in a position that they shouldn't be in. So there's a lot of teams that are gonna look to compete for some points in the next couple races. So I think that mid pack is very interesting. But yeah, I want to see more of the youngsters coming through. I like the fact that Oliver Behrman had a race weekend.
Yep. Liam
Unfortunately,
Lawson. Liam Lawson.
yeah, Liam Lawson, he's looking decent. Color Pinto, even though he had the crash. So
I want to
yeah, I
see.
think the future of Formula One is really good.
There was a. I want to see Alex Albondua as a fellow. He's half Thai, but he represents Thailand, so would like to see him do well. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. This weekend's gonna be really, really interesting because it's once again another make or break for Ferrari. Another weekend that's make or break. They're still behind by 36, so we're gonna need a double. We're gonna need at least a double Ferrari podium, or at least 1 and 4 or 5, to be within reach.
Yeah,
But we're hoping that Lando Norris does not get second or third. But I think you know what, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be really, really tough. But any final thoughts before we move on? Any final thoughts?
yeah. Vegas is going to be tough. It's going to be about qualifying because it's not a very
Yeah.
it's a street circuit, so those ones aren't very good for overtaking. So it's going to be interesting to
Mm.
see what happens. And yeah, be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens next.
But yeah, people, there's over 10 of you in the watching. Please head over to YouTube and subscribe and like. Show some love. Show. Put some leave a comment in the live chat so we can discuss as we go through. Bro, just a quick F1 today. We're not gonna review much. We can only review what we can review. Obviously I didn't watch the race, obviously, so I can only say what I have to say. I watched the United Chelsea game, so yeah, we're gonna move on to the NBA section now, people. NBA. So apparently, obviously you're a Sixers fan, and how has it been for you? Obviously, because we heard some news about Joel Embiid and the reporter incident. You heard about it, right? The Joel Embiid and the reporter incident. Did you hear what happened?
No, actually, inform me.
Apparently, Joel Embiid punched up a reporter
Oh
because
wow.
he asked a question about his brother. Because he asked a question about his brother. Um, after his late brother. Sorry, excuse me. His late
Oh
brother.
wow.
Yeah. So I'll read out the question. Yeah. Actually, Shams. Yeah, Shams
Yeah,
reported
yeah.
it. Shams reported it. Let's just go through it. Here. So Joel Embiid was really, really upset. Oh, by the way, before we move on, I just want to big up Greg Popovich because he had a health issue before Saturday's game, and I wish the best for him, and hope he gets well soon, because you never want to see managers like he's one of the greatest managers in NBA history.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Michael, you're right. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he shoved a no punch. Yeah. But yeah, big up Greg Popovich, man. Yeah, prayers up, man. You never want to see such things like this, man. Honestly, get well soon, man. Prayers up to him. Hope he makes a speedy recovery and pulls through, man. Real talk. Sixers star Joel Embiid is gonna make his season debut on Monday against the Suns. So that's another one. That's gonna be one. Let me just read you this part. Yeah. Obviously, the Sixers had a Joel Embiid incident. The NBA fined Sixers. I don't understand why they did that, but I don't see the point. And actually, let's just get into this. Yeah. Let's just get into this part. So
Oh, Paul George is back. Nice.
yeah, Paul George is back. Yeah, he's making his season debut. Yep, he's making his season debut. So here it is. So Joel Embiid got into a physical altercation, shoving a columnist in the post game locker room tonight because he asked about his brother that passed away. And I don't understand why, as a reporter, you'd go and ask someone that you're grieving, or someone that you've lost. Go and ask him just a random question. As much as you know, Joel Embiid should not have done that to him. He should have done it properly. Should have given him a proper answer. What I mean is, why are you asking Joel Embiid a question that he's sensitive about? Why? Yes, it's your job as a reporter to go ask him questions, but you don't have to mention it in an article. You mentioned it in an article saying that you mentioned my late brother or something like that. Yes. Why? Why would you mention his brother in an article? Like, you mentioned this, you mentioned Joel Embiid's son or something, and then you go and mention his brother straight afterwards. Why? Why are you mentioning family in matters like this? What does it have to do? What does it have to do with you? It's disgusting how some journalists can just say whatever they want to get away with it. They need to be held accountable. These people, man, they really do, man. I feel bad for Joel Embiid, although I don't agree with what he did to the reporter. Regardless, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that to Joel Embiid. You shouldn't have asked. You shouldn't have asked that. You shouldn't have even put that in the article, man. Yeah, and people have to apologize for Embiid, but bro, it's sad how you go and ask questions about his personal family life, personal matter. But I'll let you have your say, man. Obviously, you're a Sixers fan. As I said, everything going on with the Sixers. Paul George making his debut and everything. But you have your say, bro.
I mean, in regards to the Embiid incident, I mean, yeah, it is very disrespectful by the reporter. Yeah, Michael, yeah, he was out of pocket because the thing about it is when he's dealing with, personal stuff, you leave that at home, really. The reporter's meant to talk to him about NBA, about the sport, about oh
Mm,
how soon are you gonna come back? How are you feeling? Stuff like that. But to mention personal things like that, I'm gonna lie, I would have if I was NBA, I would have punched him. And to be honest, it showed restraint just to push him because that's very disrespectful to talk about someone else's family
yeah,
in a sense where it's got nothing to do with you or anyone else for that matter. That's his family. You know what I mean? That's
literally.
something that you just keep to yourself, kind of thing, especially
Yeah,
when it comes to the sports world. So it's nothing to do with his NBA career. It's nothing to do with the 76ers. So yeah,
those questions triggered him. Yeah, bro. Of
yeah,
course.
exactly,
Of
exactly,
course, of
exactly.
course, it'll trigger him, man. Because if you ask questions about his personal family matter, why would you go and all of a sudden just report something that's not even your fucking business? Let's just be
Exactly.
let's say it as it is. It's none of your fucking business. Why are you going to report someone about his family? At least if you're gonna say something fucking like that makes it at least respectfully, like
Yeah,
respectful,
exactly.
rather than just going, oh, but then his son, and then blah blah, blah yada yada, and then his late brother. Why would you mention his late brother in something that has got nothing to do with you?
Yeah,
These it's embarrassing, man. Real talk, really, really embarrassing, man.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
embarrassing. But well, I just want to ask you on the Sixers, like how have you thought of the Sixers so far? As you know, only talk about last week though. How do you think last week went for you guys? And obviously, what do you have to say about this?
Oh, we've been poor to be honest. We're what, second bottom. I just think it's
Early days.
in this league NBA, without your stars, it's very hard to win games. Um
Mm,
in the regular season, you need at least one of them. So starting off the season without Embiid and Paul George, especially considering that they need to get used to each other. Maxi can't do all on his own.
yeah,
Let's be honest, he's not at that level yet. He'll get there one day,
he's
maybe in a
getting there.
couple seasons time. He might be able to take over his own team. But for
Mm,
now, he's more of a you put him more of as a second or third option rather than the option. So without a true first option scorer, you're always gonna lose these type of games and close games throughout the season,
yeah,
especially early on. where everyone's healthy, everyone's fit, and stuff like that. So I just think we've been very poor because we're out with a couple guys, but also I don't really I don't know. It's weird because it's a very long season. It's 82 games,
It
so
is. It is. It's very
it's
very long.
it's nothing that I'm worried about. I just need I need Embiid and Paul George to come back to get healthy to be there. It is strange that Embiid talked about him not doing back to backs and stuff of that matter, and
Mm.
it's gonna be weird not seeing him in some of these games and load managing like he is because at his age this is crazy. So yeah, Maxi and Paul George are gonna have to step up and work together and um and carry the load for Embiid through the regular season. And at this rate, I don't see us being more than a play-in team. I thought maybe playoffs, but the way it's looking, it's probably going to be play-in more than playoffs. So we'll just see if
It's
we can
still a
turn it
long way to
around.
go. Still a
It
long
is a
way.
long way, but
And
I see that as soon as these guys go down, it's just looking downhill. I just think
do you know?
we
Do you
don't
know what
have
it
what
is?
it needed
Yeah.
to win these games.
Your your players are making returns at the right time, though. I think Paulo George is coming back at the right time because especially considering what you guys are going through right now. I think you guys are struggling. I think you guys are. I think having Paul George back at this time of season is the right time to have him back, and also you have Joel Embiid to come back. I don't know if he's I don't know how close he is to returning, but if he is nearing a return, it's about the right time to have your players back. If you and I think Paul George might make a difference. I don't know if you'll beat the Suns today, but regardless of what you think about the Suns, you need to get Paul George up and running. Yeah, he won't do
Yeah,
this back to
definitely.
back thing, and maybe the number six to eight seed. However, that for me, right, as a Sixers point of view, do you think 6 and 8 seed is respectable, or do you think your team's better than that? And elaborate, please.
Um, I think our team fully healthy can be better than that, but because our stars in Embiid and Paul George are somewhat injury prone and are coming towards, I think, especially with Paul George, the twilight of his career in terms of he's been around the block. Embiid has had a lot of injuries, so I don't think we would ever have them both healthy enough throughout the season to get a top four seed. Essentially, because in order for you to do a top four seed, you need your full team, full roster playing week in, week out, doing the back to backs, you know, playing at least 70 to 75
You need
games, which
if you
I
want
don't
to. If you,
think Embiid
sorry,
is.
man.
And I think that's gonna be the reason why Embiid doesn't get put in any of these MVP or those kind of uh, questions because he's not gonna play enough games, especially with the new rules. So
Yeah.
yes,
Let's.
it's just where we at. I think we're just focusing on trying to just at least get to the playoffs and have our guys healthy for the playoffs. Because I've
I
never
get
seen my team healthy in the playoff run like that for a long time.
apart from the 17. Sorry 17. The year that Celtics came back from 3-2 down to win the series. I think that was when everyone was fit. Apart from game
Yeah,
one, that's it.
yeah, that's it. And maybe the time when against Toronto with when what's his name, Kawhi, when Kawhi was on
Mm-hmm.
was a monster basically.
Yeah, he was. He was. Kawhi is scary. Hopefully he comes back as well because I want to see everyone fit, man. I just want to see a healthy NBA, like everyone competing against each other. You know, I want to see the best. I want to see the best compete against each other. You know, it's not gonna be. It's not always gonna be all rosy, but it is what it is. But let's move on to I mean, what are the expectations for for this week? Sorry, what do you think? Like Sixers, you think you've not been happy with the Sixers so far, haven't you? But do you think anything happens to the Sixers this week? Excuse me. Sorry again. Do you think anything happens to them this week? Do you think anything will Do you think they'll improve? Do you think it'll get better, or do you think it's gonna remain the same?
It should do with Embiid and Paul George coming back slowly and
Mm.
surely. Obviously, against the Suns, no, I think we'll lose to them because I think with KD and Beal and Devin Booker, they have too much. But after that, I think there's games that we can win, and
Mm.
if we can get a decent run going with Embiid and Paul George in the squad, and at least having Paul George and Maxi there at all times, then yeah, maybe we can turn it around. Because right now, it we're at the bottom of the bottom. The only team worse than us is in the East is the Bucks, which is a surprise to me. Because yeah, it seems like Giannis and Dame aren't getting it together either. So I think we can, but
Let's speak
it's
on
the
the
health thing.
let's speak on the Milwaukee Bucks. What is going on to the Milwaukee Bucks, man? Real talk.
I don't know.
They came. I expected them to do much better than what they are doing right now, and I don't understand I don't even understand. Yeah, ever since they fired AJ Griffin, they've looked a lot worse. Hiring Doc Rivers. I love Doc Rivers, right? He'll always be a Celtics. Like I always thank him for that 2008 NBA championship. Even though I didn't watch that, I'll thank him for that. But you're a finished coach, my friend. You're finished. Real talk. Your style, not style of play. Your type of basketball is out of date. Your he's just not got it, bro. He's just not got it anymore. He was not a trash coach back in the day, Michael. Because trust me, as a Celtics fan, I can tell you firsthand. Even though I didn't watch the Celtics at the time, right? I did watch it a little bit. He was a good coach back then when he was coaching the Celtics in 2008, right? But this version of Doc Rivers, yeah, nah, man, it's so outdated, man. It's really outdated, and also, bro, like just watching the Milwaukee Bucks right now, they look so bad. Real talk, they look horrendous. How do you go and lose to the Brooklyn Nets? How do you then lose to the Memphis Grizzlies by a dozen points, right? And how do you go and lose to the Chicago Bulls at your own gaff?
Yeah,
Bro, it makes no sense. They never should have fired AJ Griffin. I don't understand why the Milwaukee Bucks even fired AJ Griffin. He was not even doing that bad of a job. Giannis never said he wanted him to go. I don't know where the rumors came from. I don't understand why they ever fired AJ Griffin in the first place because they could have done something with a rookie head coach. But they went for Doc, another much worse. They got bounced in the first round like I predicted them to, even though they had Giannis and Dame out injured. It doesn't matter. They would have got bounced anyways because I think the Indiana Pacers were actually a good team. They actually got the Bucks number last season as well. They actually beat the Milwaukee Bucks nearly every time they play each other. Real talk. The Indiana Pacers are a good team, even though I'm still salty about that win against us in the last game. We'll talk about that in a bit. We'll talk about the Celtics in a bit. But what are your thoughts on the Milwaukee Bucks, man? Because I think this is a topic that everyone should be talking about right now, man.
yeah. Well, for me, Doc Rivers was terrible for the 76ers. I think he ruined 3 years of when he was with us. He was terrible. He was one of the main reasons why we didn't do well in terms of postseasons and stuff. Every time it came to postseasons, Doc Rivers never really had the right formula for us to be successful. And I don't know why the Bucks went for him. Out of all coaches, I think they should have gone for someone young, fresh. As Michael said, he's outdated, and the thing about it is with the way the basketball is changing, you can see that the younger coaches are doing a lot better. For example, JJ Redick with the Lakers, he's looking good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, he's right.
I think you need to get young coaches in. I think, and you know what? This decision to bring in Doc Rivers might be the reason that Giannis decides to move on. Because if he isn't given a team that wants to win championships, I think he might move on. Because and also I also say this, they should have never swapped Dame for did they swap Dame for Drew Holiday? I don't think it works out for them because they lose a lot in defense. And as great as Dame is offensively, they lack defensively so bad. They are absolutely terrible to in terms of the game of basketball. And
Yeah. And in terms of this chemistry, there's a lack of chemistry between Giannis and Dame. I know
yeah,
Giannis and Dame be a good partnership. But there's a lack of chemistry between the two. I don't know what it is, but it's like one person needs to shoot, one person wants to drive into the paint, and Wizzy gets blocked by Al Horford. Big up Al Horford, man, my guy every time. You know what I mean? That's my big man right there. But in terms of like in terms of like the Bucks, right? This team was coached so well by Mike Budenholzer. Even though they shouldn't have got, even though the Brooklyn Nets didn't have that guy, right? Even though the Brooklyn Nets didn't have James Harden, right? They were just a foot away from beating the Milwaukee Bucks in that year. Just a foot away. If KD had put his foot back a bit more, that's the Nets in the semifinals, and that's the Nets that's the Nets with the championship. But it is what it is, man. I mean, we shall see, bro. Because the thing is, like, where do you think they go from here? Where do you think the Bucks go from here? Do you think the Bucks are gonna? Do you think the Bucks are gonna be? Do you think they'll get better? Do you think what's the solution right now for the Bucks?
They need to make some trades. They need to look at their depth, look at adding a bit of defense onto their team, and getting rid of their coach. They need to change that up. For me, also you have to decide who you want to be the main ball handler for your team, because both Dame and Giannis want the ball to hand more than often. So I think it would be better to have the rotations where there's sometimes Dame's only on the court and sometimes Giannis is only on the court, so that you have a more fluid in terms of the attack, in terms of the passing and stuff like that. I think they're both very ball dominant, so that's why they don't work together as well. So I don't know. I just think you need to get the right pieces around them to have. They need spot up shooting, and they need defense. And I think they need to look at making changes to that team, both in the coaching and in the squad. For me personally, if they don't, I don't think they go anywhere. And I think Giannis requests a trade. I really do.
I don't think Giannis will request a trade, only because the reason why is because he's like the franchise guy. Because if you go to example, like for example the Warriors, right? He's not gonna get the same attention as he has. Sorry, let me say it again. He's not gonna get the same amount of attention that he has in Milwaukee, whereas he's their main guy. For example, if the Warriors want to trade for Giannis, right? Steph is the main guy of the Warriors. No one's gonna say Steph is this and that. If Giannis goes to the Warriors, he'll have to wait for. In my opinion, they'll have to wait for Steph to retire for them to bring in Giannis.
Yeah,
he'll request a trade. I think he will, but who can really get him though? Like who, like personally, bro? Who? No, I don't think he'll go Miami, bro. I'm sorry. I just don't see a world where I think Giannis goes to Miami unless Jimmy Butler leaves because the contract might be too expensive. Bam Adebayo signed a big extension as well, and I don't know how much cap Miami have. It depends on how much they can afford, because the thing is, right, salary cap is very important, and this is coming from a Boston Celtics fan whose team spent way over the salary cap and luxury tax to bring their players back after winning their championship this season. But the thing is, where is Giannis gonna go? That's my question. Where is he gonna go? Apart from Miami, right? Where do you think he goes? It's not the Lakers. Do you think he goes to the Lakers? Don't see him going to the Lakers. I don't see him going to the Lakers.
depending on how New York goes, I think he could go to New York. They have pieces that they can work with.
Possible. But are the Bucks? The thing is, are the Bucks prepared to go into a rebuild? Because they don't even have the picks to go into rebuild. That's the problem.
Well, that's what the trade will be. I think if they get rid of a asset like Giannis, they probably even go get rid of Dame after a while as well. I think it either works out or they blow it up. Because I think the Day move was kind of a gem chip or bust type move. So
Yeah.
if it doesn't work out in the next season or two, I think they just blow it up and go again. And I think, to be honest, for Bucks, the best option is to get picks. Get picks, get a couple of smaller pieces that don't mind being in Milwaukee, and rebuild again and find that next gem, that next superstar. Because that's what happened with Giannis. They found a superstar and
Mm.
they got themselves a chip. And that's probably the only way you're going to get superstars to come to Milwaukee, because most people, they want to go LA, they want to go Miami, they want to go to the New Yorks, to the bigger kind of
So
marketplaces or places with better weather. So
Boston.
yeah, Boston as well. So it's more about bigger markets for these guys rather than, because in the end of the day, they look at themselves as products, right? So they want to go to the place where they can make the most money, sell the most merch, maybe get a trainer deal, stuff like that. And in the box, you're not going to be seen as much as you're going to be seen in Miami. So for Giannis, he might just want to go Miami just to be the face of Miami, and he'll get the big deal, the bigger trainer deals, everything else. The other stuff around it will be better. And who doesn't want to live in the sun of Miami?
That's it could be true. Where I think he might end up will be. I think the Warriors get him, but
Maybe
that's what.
Golden
But I
State is another place.
but I think that's where I think Steph is. Where I think Steph could be. I don't disagree with this, but at the same time I also disagree because there is loyalty, not everywhere, but there is. There are teams with players that have been there from like what a long time, and it's not gonna be easy to maintain. If they want to leave, they can leave because they need to secure their future. You know what I mean? Soon, I think Zion will leave the Pelicans as well. I think Giannis will leave. I think Giannis will leave the Bucks in a way, but I don't think the Bucks are prepared to trade Giannis. That's the problem. I don't think they're prepared to trade him. They ain't. They
They
just
might not
they're,
have any
they're
choice
just
though in
they're
that
just not
matter.
prepared to trade him because they also need to look at the future because if they don't have picks, right? If the Milwaukee Bucks don't have picks, then they're screwed next season. They need to trade Giannis for someone that they need to trade Giannis to someone with the first round pick. Good first round pick. I
Yeah,
don't I'd be surprised if he went to someone like the Lakers because the Lakers are stacked right now. Not stacked in a good way or a bad way, just their roster is full. Because who are they gonna trade for him? They have to trade Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, maybe Anthony Davis, because the contract will match. That's the problem. The contract's not gonna match. They're gonna need to make big trades, man, to get if they want to get Giannis in. But I don't think they're gonna get Giannis. I think Giannis stays in Milwaukee. I think he just stays for another year. I don't. It depends because if the Bucks do if the Bucks turn around and they end up making the playoffs, then Giannis will stay. If they don't make the playoffs, then I can see maybe Giannis requesting for a trade. But I'll let you have to say, King. I said enough, bro.
no, I agree. It's just dependent on the season, but the way it's going now, it's looking like it's gonna be an eventuality rather than it's more and more likely every day kind of thing, especially with the way the team is currently set up. As I said,
Mm.
in hindsight, the Dame Drew deal wasn't the deal to make. If you're gonna improve the team with a superstar, you need to think about the fit, and I think they never thought about that. It's fair. They got rid of a lot of defense in order for that to happen, and I think they they just look poor all around. And yeah, Giannis is a kind of guy that wants. You know when you felt that winning feeling when you've won
Mm.
when you've won that title, you want that feeling again. And a lot of these guys, when they've done, they're not thinking about staying loyal. They're thinking about a legacy,
Mm.
and in
But
NBA,
yeah,
legacy is chips.
but the thing is, yeah, Giannis has already won a championship with the Bucks. I don't see a reason why he should leave because the Bucks can do it again if they build around Giannis properly. I don't think they did that properly. That's the problem. I think
Yeah,
that I think that stems down to the front office Because look, I don't think you trade Giannis. Do you know who I think that you trade? Dame. I
And
think you
that might
trade
be
Dame.
hard to get rid of though at this
I
point.
think you I think you trade Dame. I think you trade Bobby Portis. You trade Lopez. All the guys around Giannis that have been there. Keep Middleton. Keep Giannis. These two were the reason why the Bucks have won the championship in 2021. These two were the reason why the Bucks even won the championship in 2021. Let's not forget that, right? I don't think they'll trade them both. I think because it depends on who wants who. I think Dame. I think Dame. Yeah, yeah. Because you know why, bro? The Brooklyn Nets. Yeah. Do you know why the Brooklyn Nets did it? Because they were not a serious contender, anyways. They were just there for the vibes. They were just there for the money. Actually, if you actually look at it, right, the three players were just there for marketing reasons. Kyrie Irving went because he didn't want to sign with the Celtics. The Nets offered him more money. But did Kyrie really want to be at the Nets? No. Kyrie didn't want to go to the Nets. Did Durant want to go to the Nets? Probably not. He probably wanted to stay at the Warriors. Harden, he only went because Durant and Kyrie were there. But he even dipped before. He dipped way before. So what I'm saying is, the Brooklyn Nets, right? They weren't serious, and whatever they did, they've undone all that now. They've undone everything now, and the thing is, yeah. Also, you gotta look at the fact that they had the picks anyways. They already had the picks with them, but the Nets aren't doing anything. They didn't actually, no, excuse me, they didn't have picks. They don't have first round picks. They don't have options. They don't have options. They need to go and get first round picks. They have Dennis Schroeder, a decent player. I like him. He's a good player. And you also have players like what's his name? You had Lonnie Walker, but then you let him go. So the Brooklyn Nets had an okay team, and then they let Mikal Bridges go to the Knicks. They're cross city rivals. But yeah, I just think the Bucks needed to sort out a situation. Hopefully, if Giannis does want to stay, then you trade everyone around him and you build around him properly. Go and get someone like Cade Cunningham. Go get someone like um try and get someone like what's his name? Go and try and lure Zion Williamson or something like that. Try and lure players that that can play around Giannis. Giannis is a facilitator. He can facilitate others as well as himself. Because he's really good on both ends of the floor. Apart from 3-point shooting, he's good. He's good at defense. He's good at offense. That's what I think.
They need shooters around him. I
Yeah, they
think
do.
they should have been a team that looked at Clay Thompson, to be honest.
You know what? You actually make a good point there. They should have been in for Klay Thompson. I agree. I completely agree with you.
That's what Giannis needs. He just needs shooters around him, like in every
Mm,
position.
I
And
hear
I
that.
think I think Dame has to be able to change his game to be a shooter rather than a facilitator himself. So
Mm,
he has to change the way he plays to fit Giannis. I think because Dame's so used to being the man, now he has to be the second man. So it's very difficult for some guys to do that. Some guys can, some guys can't, and that might be the reason why they've had a poor start as well because they're still getting used to playing with each other and finding the best way to fit. But yeah, I think the Bucks is a very hard situation.
it is.
And they need to trade for some shooting and for some. They just need a couple good 3-and-D guys. That's what they need
Yeah.
around Yanis and Dame, and they can build something special if they can get a couple of those kind of guys.
If they manage to keep Giannis, they should try and get first round picks. Um they should try and get someone in from free agency. But anyways, people, we're gonna move on to the Cavaliers. Let's go to the Cleveland Cavaliers. 7-0 start, although they're not gonna go 82-0, aren't they? So with a good start by the Cavs. Just a quick thought on the Cleveland. I think I've not watched much of the game, but I saw the game winner that Donovan Mitchell hit over the Milwaukee Bucks. It's crazy, and yeah, I think the Cavs are gonna be a real threat. But What are your thoughts? Just a quick, thoughts on the Cleveland before we move on. Before I
No, I
discuss.
like the team. I like Donovan Mitchell, man. He reminds me of like a he's that kind of young D Wade type kind of player, and I think the greatest thing for him is that he's finally found a team for him. So it's good seeing him elevate himself to that superstar level in sense of putting on that kind of leadership role, being the head of a team with a lot of young pieces around him. So yeah, I think Cleveland is a very exciting team. They got a
Yeah.
lot of good pieces.
Mm.
And yeah, I just think they continue to grow. I think they're just one of those teams that are going to continue to grow and be a problem in the future. If you look at them,
Interesting. Yeah.
the Knicks are two teams that I look at as future teams that will trouble the Celtics in the next
You
couple
see,
of years.
you have Donovan Mitchell, you have Darius Garland, you also have what's his name? You also have Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, and all these type of players. They they can cause a lot of damage. But yeah. Let's talk about my Boston Celtics now. That's what I'll quickly start. Another good week. Another week where we've won nearly every game. Unfortunately, we lost to the Indiana Pacers. The Celtics have thrown away a few leads, but managed to win the game. They managed to close out the game. Um, the Indiana Pacers game, we started off the game so poorly, allowed ourselves to be down 24 at one point in the game, but we came back. We fought back so much. We fought hard. We came back from down 24 to tie the game and send it to overtime. I thought it was going to be game one of the Eastern Conference Finals all over again, but guess what? We end up losing by just 3 points, man, and it's a shame, man. It's just a shame we lost that game. But you know what? I like the fight in this team. I really like the way the Celtics play, and you know what it is. I saw the way we were throwing away leads, but at least we're managing to hold on to win, and we're at least closing it out. But yeah, we got the Hawks away today, and we should hopefully win this one. What are your thoughts on the quick thoughts on the Celtics, bro?
They're looking good. Good start. That's what they need to do, really. If they can
Yeah,
finish within top two in the regular season,
I think
get
we
that
should.
home
I
advantage.
think for first, bro. And we should aim for first.
You never know. You never know what will happen. But if they, yeah, but get that home advantage. And as I said,
Mm,
this season's about going back to back for them. It's about
yeah,
creating legacy. So, especially the way their two top guys got treated in the Olympics. Like I said before, I think
Jalen Brown refused to go as well. He kind of
yeah, they,
refused
they
to go.
got they got a lot of fire. They got a lot of fire in them. They got a lot of people that they have to kind of shut up, and they look good. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Celtics. I think that they've had a good start, and it's not much else really to say. To be honest, at this point, be interesting to see how far they go throughout the season, how they continue to look, and the thing about an NBA season is it's so early on, because the season
Mm,
can be destroyed by a big injury just like that. So it's one of
yeah,
those ones where you just hope your guys are healthy when the time comes when it's postseason. So as long as they continue to win, I think they'll have a great record. And if they can keep their guys fit, then that's all you can really say. To be honest,
obviously,
it's just too early to tell for me. Especially even my team, you can turn it around.
it's gonna be
No,
a 15. It's gonna be 15 games. 15 games today because of the election tomorrow in the USA, the biggest election in the world. Uh, and today there'll be 15 games. Lakers doing really well. I think JJ Redick's got them playing some good basketball. Um, obviously they've already dropped 2 games, but those games were against the 7-0 Cleveland Cavaliers, and one of them was against the Phoenix Suns, tough Phoenix Suns side. And I don't really think that's a bad thing. But the Lakers need to keep the consistency if they want to make the playoffs and they want to make it far this season. They need consistency. That's been the issue with the Lakers. They never had that consistency, but they look like they can get that consistency if they manage to play through the stars, if they manage to utilize the whole team properly. Because I look at Lakers. They have good shooters. They have Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell. They have Dalton Connect as well. They got LeBron, AD. So yeah, they have a decent team. Just quick thoughts on the Lakers before we move on to the to predictions.
I like what they're doing. I like JJ Redick. As I said, he's a good young coach. You can see
Mm,
the differences in terms of the way he talks to his players and the mentality switch that they've had ever since they've hired him. I think
yeah.
that was a good decision from their back office. But
Mm,
the West is hard, because you got teams like the young teams like the OKC, you got the Phoenix, you got the Warriors that are looking good, and you got Dallas, especially Dallas with Clay adding that extra shooter. I was watching their first couple games and just the amount of times he got open shots and it was just swish, swish,
mm.
swish. So Dallas on the offense are going to be a problem for anyone in the West. So I don't know. No, I don't know what the Lakers season's gonna unfold, but I may be of wrong of not putting them in playoff contention. I may be wrong on that. I think
Which
JJ Redick
yeah.
in the early goings has changed my mind. It's just I think they may be there. I think they may be there. Maybe play in.
OKC OKC as well with 100% record as of now.
Yeah.
They're playing. They look like they're also playing some good basketball. Um, also, I want to ask you, who's so far the most improved player you've seen this season so far as of this season?
Mm.
For me, it's Peyton Pritchard.
I've liked I've liked when Benyama. I've liked him, but I would say Pablo from the Magic and Chero. I've liked what he's done for them.
He's not injured though.
Yeah, but I've liked what he's done early on. So
Paolo Banchero, yeah. For me, I think the most improved player spot has been Peyton Pritchard. The guy's dropping bigger numbers now. He's splashing in threes constantly. But yeah, let's
he
let
looks like a guy that's a lock for sixth man of the year, something like that.
yeah, possibly. But we're gonna move on to a prediction before we close out, people. Obviously it's kind of late over there in the UK, and obviously it's gonna be it's starting to be a really late time for me as well. But we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna quickly do predictions of today and the start of week 2 because it's Monday. Cavs Bucks. I'm going with the Cavs win.
Yeah,
In Cleveland.
Cavs. Yeah, Cavs, easy.
Wizards against Warriors. I'm gonna go with the Warriors.
This is Warriors. Yeah, Warriors. I've got Warriors on that.
Nets against Grizzlies. I'm going with Grizzlies.
Let's see Grizzlies.
It should be Nets. I say Grizzlies. Excuse me. I think the Grizzlies have been playing quite well, especially when healthy. Morant's back as well. Triple double
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
day.
yeah. Yeah, I can't disagree with that one. Grizzlies, that's not even close to be honest.
Heat against Kings. I'm going with the Kings.
I'll go with the Heat.
Bulls against Jazz. I go with Bulls. At home.
Bulls against Jazz.
I'll go with the Bulls at home.
I could go either way to be honest.
Mm,
I'm gonna go Jazz first. Jazz first win.
fair enough. Rockets against Knicks. I'm going to go with the Rockets at home to win. Rockets to win at home.
Against the Knicks.
Yeah, at home. At home against Knicks.
No, I got the Knicks for that one.
Timberwolves against Hornets. I'm going with Timberwolves.
Yeah, Wolves. Yeah, man.
OKC against Magic. I'm going with OKC.
Yeah, OKC. Yeah.
I'm beaten as well. Pelicans Blazers. I'm going to go with the Blazers to win.
I'll go with the Pelicans.
This one's a good game. Dallas against Mavs against Pacers. I'm going with Mavericks to win.
Wait,
Mavs
who's
to win.
home?
Mavs.
Yeah, then Mavs. Yeah.
Nuggets against Raptors. I'm going with Nuggets.
Yeah, that's a Nuggets win, easy.
Suns against Sixers. Your team. I'm going with the Suns to win, unfortunately for you, because I think they're just not. I think the Suns are just healthy right now.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. It depends who's available. No, I'm just gonna back my team, 76ers.
Clippers against Spurs. I'm going with the Clippers to win. No, I'm going with the Spurs win.
Oh, no, that's
Spurs win.
Spurs.
Spurs win on the road. Yes.
Yeah, Spurs. Clippers don't look good this season.
Pistons Lakers. I'm going with the Pistons to win because the Pistons actually play with a lot of fight. I'm going with the
I
Pistons.
got Lakers for that one.
I'm going Pistons to win at home. I don't know why. I just I do it for Popovich as well. Yeah. You're right, Michael. Yes. They need to do this for Greg Popovich. Yeah. Actually, no. You're right. I'm gonna go with the Lakers to win. Actually, fuck that. Yeah. And Hawks against Celtics. I'm gonna go with the Celtics to win on the road against Atlanta.
Yeah, Celtics.
Celtics.
I don't know why I waited for that one. It's definitely Celtics.
Yeah. Hopefully we get the job done today, and we just move on to the election day, and then we back against the Warriors at home, which should be interesting, man. Jason Tatum against Steve Kerr. You know, Jason Tatum's gonna.
Wait, election day is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
What, the 2nd or the 5th? The 4th.
6. Sorry. Excuse me. 5th. Yes, you're right. 5th. Yes. It's Monday. It's Monday night for them right now in the USA. So, the games we played today. Every game we played today. Every team is playing today. Tomorrow there'll be no game. The day after that there will be a game. The Celtics play the Warriors at home. We shall see what happens happens then. Hopefully Jason Tatum and Steve Kerr. You know the battle is gonna come, right?
He's gonna play like a demon. A 50-piece one.
Steve Kerr might have broken Jason Tatum, but the way Jason Tatum's playing right now, MVP level, man. Swear down, he's playing like an MVP level right now. But people, we're gonna wrap it up here, man. It's getting kind of late for me as well. I want to get some rest for the Celtics game if I can do. But there's over 12 of you in the building. Please head over to the YouTube, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and obviously get me to 100 get me to 100 subs ASAP before the end of the year, and so on and so forth. But bro, thank you for coming on, man. Really appreciate it, man. What do you got coming up, man? I'll let them know they can find you as well.
Oh no, I'm just gonna be on this channel for now. Soon I'll make my own channel. Once I do that, then I'll put the link up.
Go for it right now. Go for it right now. Go for it, man. Real talk.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just excited to be on this channel to talk about all sports.
Of course, man. Anytime. Obviously, you know all 3 sports we talk about. Anyways, we might do some NFL in the future if that's possible. We might do a bit of Do you watch any other sports? Other than NFL.
A bit of rugby now and then. Maybe some tennis.
Do you watch baseball?
No, that's the only American sport that I'm not into.
Oh, you watch hockey as well?
Oh no, not hockey. I haven't watched hockey in time.
Fair enough. But cricket. Do you like cricket as well? Cricket. Do you watch cricket or no?
If it's I used to be way into cricket. I used to be able to like watch the tests, but now if it's like 2020.
All right, Michael. Then, when the Patriots start improving, then I'll start doing NFL, bro. As of now, I ain't talking about the NFL. the Patriots are trash. I knew the Patriots are trash, but Drake May is looking good. He's looking promising, man. That pass he made, oh my god, that pass he made to Ramondre Stevenson. Oh, hey, big up, man. Patriots fan in the building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But Drake May, man, that pass he made to Ramondre Stevenson was class. Was class. Seriously, bro. The way he made that, he was falling as well. He was about to get sacked, and he made that pass, and Stevenson got the catch, and obviously it ended up being a touchdown. He made that extra point. But yeah, man. Yeah, at least you got to see the Brady days, man. I was following the Super Bowl in school, man. When the Patriots came back from 28-3, man. That game, man, against the Seahawks. So Seahawks, excuse me, Atlanta Falcons, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm so used to saying Atlanta Hawks. That's why. Oh, anyway,
Seahawks game is the one
good luck,
where they
man.
should have run it.
Enjoy the game, bro. Enjoy the game, Michael. You know what I mean? Enjoy the game. And bro, Michael, I'd like to get you on. I'd like to get you on and talk as well. We definitely can talk Patriots as well, man. We need to talk, man, because this team is crap. Yes, Malcolm Butler made that interception in the end zone as well. In the, I guess, Seahawks. So I said Seahawks by accident, bro. I meant Falcons. Reason why I say Seahawks is because I'm so used to saying the Atlanta Hawks. That's why I'm like, I can't say I want to say Atlanta. I want to say I was gonna say Atlanta Falcons, but I said Seahawks because I'm so used to saying Atlanta Hawks, man. But yeah, of course, man, of course, anytime, man. Let me know, man. But bro, big up, man. Thank you for coming on, man. Let them know we can find you. Let them know we got coming up.
As I said,
Uh,
I'm going to
uh,
be on this channel.
uh,
So
do you have anything coming up as well, or nothing else much really,
nah, once I've started up the channel, then yeah, then
bro?
I'll start doing.
After the stream ends, I want you to go and create that channel right now, and I'm gonna tag you in the comments as well.
All right.
Go on, bro. Trust me. After the stream, yeah. Big up, people, man. There's 12 of you in the building. Like I said, smash the like button, subscribe, and obviously King's making a YouTube channel soon, so I'll just show him some love. Show Michael some love as well. He really got us going in today as well. Like Michael, you 2 streams in a row now, my friend. You've really given us something to talk about, man. Big up to you, man. Really appreciate you in the chat. Always keeping it real, keeping it respectful in the chat. And I'm glad you're supporting my channel. Glad you're always in the chat, talking and being respectful to us. And definitely we'll have you on my channel. Definitely you're definitely getting to come on. At least you got to see the Brady days. You know what I mean? You got to see the Brady days. And yeah, obviously, bro, go ahead, man. Start your channel, man. Go and start your channel. If you guys are ready, go ahead. Go ahead, man. Yeah, appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Big up to you, man. Big up everyone watching. It's kind of late. We're gonna head out. Till then, we'll see you guys. Sometime this week. I'll probably schedule a stream this week. I'll definitely help you, bro. Just follow my socials, and I'll help you. Definitely. But big up, man. We're out. Laters. Up the Celtics and up the Scuderia Ferrari. Let me say that again. Up the Celtics and up the Scuderia Ferrari. Laters.
Forza Ferrari.